show. He's an up-and-comer. Each time I watch him grow and get better and better. He's so funny. Let's give him a warm welcome for Oren.
Everyone give it up for your great host, Bob DeVoe. Although he forgot to mention all the TV shows I've been on, and all the comedy clubs I've performed at all over New York City. I performed at Stand Up New York. Anyway, are we allowed to curse on stage? We are, right?
Yeah.
I get someone with this. Did anyone go trick-or-treating this past Halloween? So, I was always wondering, how come all these kids go around door-to-door trick-or-treating asking the same question? And they always get the same answer, and they only want one answer, so why even ask the question? Well, I'll tell you what. When I was a little kid growing up, I was going trick-or-treating door-to-door. I knocked on this one guy's door. He answered the door. This guy was balding in his 50s, wearing a white beater, potato chip crumbs all over his stomach. I'm like, trick-or-treat. He's like, trick, I'm a pedophile, get the fuck in here. So he kind of tricked me because he told me, he said he had some candy that it's so good I can't say no. I'm like, what's it called? He's like, chloroform. So yeah, that didn't go as planned. So everyone following the Michael Sam story? As a football player who, Michael Sam? Correct. He was the first football player to come out as gay. So I think it's such a landmark event, and it's great that he came out and was able to achieve all his dreams despite having two first names. Like, how the hell are people supposed to explain that to their kids? So I know this may be surprising because I'm an Orthodox Jew, but I'm actually an accountant. And so I start out my career at one of the biggest firms. I don't want to say the name of the firm, I swear I was Coopers. But when I was there, a lot of times I didn't have any work, so I was really bored. So I quit. And after a year after I left, I went back to meet someone in HR there so they could sign off my work experience so I could get certified as a CPA. And while I'm waiting for this woman in the lobby, the person who was in charge of scheduling my department bumped into me. I'm like, oh, how are you? She's like, good, how are you? I'm like, good. She's like, is everything okay? I haven't seen you in the office in a while. I'm like, well, I actually left the firm a year ago, so that probably explains why you haven't seen me. And that probably also explains why I never got assigned any work. Now, why the fuck did I tell you I was leaving? I could have stayed on payroll. You wouldn't know the fucking difference. So, anyone here try online dating? Yeah. So, a lot of girls are hesitant to meet guys off online dating sites. Which is kind of understandable. There's a lot of creepy guys out there. So, to ease their fears, I tell them that a recent survey showed that 10% of all marriages in the US last year were due at least in some part to online dating sites. Like, oh, Oren, that's great, I didn't know that. I will tell them they're also responsible for nearly 50% of all missing persons cases. They don't need to know that. But if I call them after the day and they don't respond, maybe make it 51%. I'm just kidding. So, anyone here try going on a blind date? No. Oh, wow. You say yes to everything. So, I hate when you go on a blind date and the girl that I meet for the first time, they always end up having a family emergency come up the second they see me. So, a rabbi set me up with this girl. I had no clue what she looked like. And I'm waiting in front of the restaurant where we're supposed to have dinner, and this girl starts walking towards me, and I'm like, oh shit, please don't be her, please don't be her. Oh, please. And 5 minutes later, this girl comes up to me, and she's like, are you Oren? I'm like, fuck, bring back the last girl! So I called the rabbi after the day, and I said, look, I don't think it's going to work. She's like, but she comes from a great family. Oh, in that case, yeah, I guess I might go out with her again. He's like, would you consider going out with her again? I'm like, I would consider it. If we're the last two people on Earth and we needed to have kids to save mankind. So, I'm sure everyone here uses Facebook. You'll be a yes to that, hopefully. So, I hate how everyone, so some people, so what happens is if someone makes a post, and let's say I read a post saying, oh, can anyone help me out? I need a flash drive. and then like 2 of my friends liked the comment. Well, I guess I don't need that flash drive anymore. As long as 2 people like the comment, that's good enough. But also, I pay close attention to when it's a person's birthday, and you see everyone writes on their walls, see happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, HBD. Like, what kind of friend are you? So I was always wondering, why did they write HBD? Is it because they're lazy? No, I think it's more after the H, the pain from their carpal tunnel syndrome sets in. H. I only think I got 2 letters left in me. So I was always wondering, is it supposed to make it okay when you're about to tell someone a close family member just died, to make sure they're sitting down first before you give them the news? And if they're sitting down first before you give them the news, it'll be okay no matter what you say. Hey, David, yeah? Are you sitting down? Yeah? Your brother was murdered last night. Okay. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, I'm sitting down. If I was standing up, it would have been pretty tragic, so thanks for the heads up. But what about if you forget to warn them? David, your brother was murdered last night. Fucking A, if only I was sitting down! I'm sure everyone rides the subway here. And one thing that drives me crazy, people try to get onto the train before you can get off, and it's like a game, you gotta get out of time. But then when you get to the stairs, everyone slows down, and it looks like they're looking up at fucking Mount Everest. Like you maybe want to help them out with a robe, oxygen mask, gloves. But for some of these people, it doesn't even matter. They're so fat. They take up 2 seats on the train. Excuse me, did you swipe your Metro card twice? No, I don't think so, so get the fuck up. What was that? No, don't complain to me about the airlines wanting to start charging for 2 seats. You get 2 meals with that as well. So I was actually flying recently. I was coming back home from a friend's house in Atlanta, and they decided to search me more in depth because I'm an Orthodox Jew, and Jews are notorious for blowing up airplanes. And this guy was wearing gloves and everything, but I felt like he was going overboard. He was feeling me down my pants. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you work here? He laughed. No, I'm kidding. He actually said, oh shit, I think they're onto me. He ran away. And then I'm like, oh shit, I think they're onto me. I don't even have a flight. So everyone, I'm sure, has had a good time celebrating Mother's Day.
Woo!
Yeah. Maybe not. So, yeah, happy Mother's Day to all those great mothers out there, but there's something about mothers that really bothers me. I hate when I bump into a young mom who has a young kid, and don't you think there should be a cutoff to when they should stop saying how old their kid is in months? Like, it gets annoying after a certain point, right? Exactly. So I bumped into a friend of mine, Jane, and I'm like, oh, Jane, how are you doing? How big is your son? He got so big. How old is he? He's 20 months. I'm like, oh, wow. She's like, how old's your son? I'm like, well, he's 300 months. I can calculate if you want to divide by 12. But then yesterday, I bumped into another friend of mine who's a young mother, and I'm like, oh, how old's your son? She's like, 24 months. I'm like, she's too, bitch. It goes in even. So, another perfect show by me today. I go to a lot of stand-up comedy myself, and I noticed that a lot of the comedians, even the really good ones, unfortunately, don't have a good way of closing their act. All right, you guys have been great. I gotta run.